Hey there, welcome back to another video on accessibility. In this video we're going to focus on tables. As you can see here in this slide presentation, there's been tables used on many of the slides to organize information. Tables can be great for organizing information, particularly data, but they can also be problematic for screen readers, depending on how they're organized. So we have to be very careful when using screen readers, or I'm sorry, when using tables. Now I'm going to share this website in our Schoology module, but I did want to highlight a few things here. Okay, and namely this right here, and I'll just let you look at it for a second. And basically what it's saying is that if a table is not formatted correctly, there's no easy way to determine what a particular value in a cell might have. Okay, because a screen reader will read it from left to right and top to bottom, and if it's not organized in a particular way, it will make no sense at all. The other thing I wanted to show you is a little bit about do's and don'ts. And this says here, use tables to present information in a grid, matrix, or columns. And you can see a good example here. And don't, and I really wanted to highlight this. Never use tables as a means of laying out a page in Google or Microsoft Word. While these tables can be hidden from visual users by simply eliminating borders and cells, they cannot be hidden from screen readers. All right, so that's very important to remember as we go back to our topic on tables here today. So as you can see here in this particular example, we have several issues here. We have 5 tables that have never been tagged, as well as the use of merged cells, which is generally a big no-no because, again, screen readers can't distinguish how the order of the cells. So, and why that is, I don't know, but I just know that it's bad. So the other thing I want to bring your attention to, and this is really important because they kind of go hand in hand, is that all slides should have a title. Now this is one of those examples where Grackle doesn't flag it with a big red X, but it does say, whoops, you know, this is a should have. Now Microsoft PowerPoint, it will flag it and say that it's not accessible, and by standards, slides need to have a title. So that's going to come in hand here. So let's go ahead and just let me work with this particular one here, and we can kind of show you what I'm going to do and how I would handle this one. All right, so we can see here, this looks nice and everything, right? But we need room for a title. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move this around a little bit, and I am going to copy that, and I'm also going to delete I'm going to delete this row, and I'm going to also, now I'm going to add a title. I'm going to change the layout. So I'm actually going to do this one right here. This is a little bit better. Alright, so I'm going to go back here, just paste my title in there. I'm going to move that up a little bit, and then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to cut those out, and I am going to delete this row. Hold on 1 second here. Oops. See, it's a little bit, let's see here. There we go. Delete that row. Alright. So this is a little bit better, and then what I'm going to do is just kind of move that up here, paste that there, and we're good to go. So now we still have to deal with this. So I'm going to go ahead and just click slide 1. Oh, that's for titles, I'm sorry. Go ahead, I'm going to click right here. And I'm going to go ahead and tag that. Now again, you see here you have tagged tables for used for layout purposes. Now we can check that, but what's going to happen is the screen reader is just going to skip over all of this. All right, so we don't want to do that. In this case, we could easily just click what we want. All right, but we're just going to click Make First Row Header. All right, so this is going to be Big Ideas and Essential Questions, and I am going to click Update. Okay. And I'm just going to go ahead and rerun Grackle again so you can see the difference here. Okay. Okay, Grackle's finished running here, and you can see here that Table 1, this one, is now green. Alright, so that's good. And if we go up to slides that have a title, slide 1 is no longer there, and that's because we gave it a title. Alright. Alright, let's go ahead and take a look at this in PowerPoint. Now we have some of the same issues here. We have the table, and we're also missing titles on all of the slides. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is very similar to what we did in Google Slides. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to copy that. I'm going to delete that row. Alright, and now I'm going to go here to slide 1. Oops. And I am just going to go to Add Slide Hidden Title. Alright, and the reason why I'm going to do that is because it's a little bit easier to position later on, and I'm actually not going to hide it. Now you might say, like, what's a hidden title? What does that mean? Well, the idea is you don't always want a title to be, you want a slide to have a title, but it also might not be relevant to the slide, or you might not have room on the slide. And if you're talking to people, you can describe what the slide is, but if it's being read to somebody, that's a little bit different. And if they're not in present mode when they're looking at it, they can see the hidden title here. Now, why didn't I just do like I did before in Google Slides? The reason is because we don't want this to read Indigenous peoples and then Indigenous peoples again. All right, so this time I'm going to go ahead and cut this out, and I'm going to go ahead and delete that row. All right, I'm going to move this down here. I'm going to go ahead and paste in this here. All right, and I'll just go ahead and move our Indigenous peoples title down there. And of course, if we wanted to, we could mess with the formatting and all of that stuff. Now we're still having a little bit of an issue here. So what I'm going to just go ahead and do is I'm going to say use the first row as header. Boom, done, and it's gone. Click here, and we go on to the next page. So I'm not going to repeat the process here, but if you want to go back and re-watch what I did, that's great. I did want to show you one more thing here. I'm going to go on to slide 7, and this is really nice. This is a really nice feature because we can just click here, and it says set a slide title, add slide title, or add a hidden slide title. I'm just going to say, boom, we're all done. Primary source 2 is the slide title. All right, let's go on to, not that one, let's go on to slide 4. All right, set a slide title, slide 7, okay, you get the idea. So my last piece of advice is, if at all possible, unless you're organizing data, try to design without using tables. That's your pro tip for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll look forward to making another one for you.